Hello, good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am China Alessandra Ko, your podcast host today. I am very excited to share this topic about who is Jose Rizal. Before we begin, let's have a recap of today's Philippine history. The Philippine history starts from the point where the Philippines was not called the Philippine back in the Philippine history until 1521 when a Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan landed in Visayas, Cebu, where he was looking for a spice island. And Christianity was born, and every person was converted into Christianity during that time until Ferdinand Magellan died because of the Battle of Mactan with Lapu-Lapu. Suddenly, Spaniards were backing off and they based towards another island and head back to Spain, but they did not surrender until years passed. The Spaniards came back to the Philippines and the Filipinos surrendered and are now finally under Spanish control. Under Spanish control, Filipinos are called Indios or lower class people, and some of them are wealthy people are middle hierarchy. The lower class is considered uneducated, poverty, and low will of rights themselves. Although the history is brutal and suffering, though. And until the famous writer, poet, and a doctor named Jose Rizal. Jose Rizal was a writer during the Spanish colonial era. Jose Rizal was a clearly clever, well-educated man and studied in one of the famous universities, the University of Santo Tomas, the Ateneo, and Heidelberg University in Germany. So, one question: why did Jose Rizal study international? Well, we'll explain right now, live in a podcast about Philippine history. Jose Rizal studied internationally because of his brother. His brother helped him study internationally and even study here in the Philippines because there are no resources for medicine, plus a lack of accessibility, like education and other specific needs. Like Jose Rizal brought changes to his country. Instead of mocking the Spaniards, he used his talents and skills by writing a novel, his famous work, No Limitangere, the first novel that Jose Rizal wrote. And the next one is El Filibusterismo, the second chapter of No Limitangere. This novel marks the Filipino independence when this novel were published and read it. This reflected the lives of Filipino during the time, and the war between Spaniards and Filipinos suddenly began in the 1890s. The KKK revolution has torn its paper. Phrase, ilabas ang iyong sedula. Mabuhay ang Katipunan. Mabuhay ang mga Pilipino. The KKK was held by Andres Bonifacio in July 1892. After Philippine independence, Jose Rizal was considered a Filipino national hero because of his work saving his country at risk and his love and devotion to the Filipino people. Without Jose Rizal, there would be no KKK, no proof of evidence of how we gained Philippine freedom and independence still under Spanish territory, and there would be no Rizal Law and Rizal Bill. Again, this is China Ko, your host of the podcast today, and thank you for listening.